these two are the next. What I'm hearing from Frank Warren and Sam Joyce, these two are like the next best thing out of England. Like, this thing is bigger than the World Cup final, as Frank Warren said. Like, they're not gonna lie, they're overgassed this year, and the trash talk, fam. I'm gonna clip it here. Yeah,
it might not go to the later rounds, Joe.
Well, yeah, it might not. It might not. You're gonna try and hit me with your best shots.
Early. You won't see it coming.
You've not given him that middle fight, and
it's
gonna.
The middle fight.
No, it's not the middle fight.
So,
no, it's not the middle fight.
You're just getting knocked out. So
I'm the guy that's gonna knock you out.
Huh?
I'm the guy that's gonna knock you out. Finish your career. After this
Finish
fight,
the career.
You're not gonna be the same.
Fighting talk.
We're gonna have a fight. It's on.
With some personal comments. I'm gonna remember that when I'm punching your face.
No, you're not. You're gonna be on the deck. So you're not gonna remember. You're gonna be sleeping.
And then
you're gonna be sleeping, Joe.
Yeah, maybe I'll sleep for a split second, get up,
back up
and then knock you there out.
When you wake back up, go on.
Huh?
No. Anyway, I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna win in devastating fashion. And it's going to be a great night of boxing.
Did you bring that sleeping bag? Because you'll put me to sleep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Look, I just made headlines right there.
There you go.
Have you got a sleeping bag sponsor or something on board?
Sleeping bag sponsor, yeah. Bigging it up.
You're going to know about it on the night. You're going to need one. Don't forget, bring one for him, right?
Big man Tig, yeah. Let's just get into this. Let's get into this. Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't done it already, please click the subscribe button. Also drop a like on this video if you haven't done it already, and follow me as well on Off the Canvas Boxing on Instagram. We're doing a couple of streams on Twitch as well, so if you can follow me on Twitch on Off the Canvas Boxing, that would be amazing also as well. But let's get into the Daniel Dubois versus the JOYCE. This is a very good fight. Very good fight. I know it was worthy enough to become pay-per-view, but then Frank Warren decided to demote that to, of course, the Saturday night fight night on BT Sport, partly because I'm of the assumption that it was the Tyson Roy Jones is on pay-per-view themselves, so they can't have two pay-per-views on the same night on the same network, etc. So do you know the way there? So one of them has to give, and I believe initially it was supposed to be JOYCE and them lot, but they made it the Tyson. So seriously, you're paying the same thing, doesn't really make a difference. So getting into this fight, JOYCE versus Daniel Dubois. JOYCE comes from an Olympic background, becoming a silver medalist, only losing to Tony Yoka in the Olympics. Tony Yoka, I think he lost as well to Dave Allen. Of course, Dave Allen recently just retired as well. So very subpar opponent. I think he was good in the Olympics period, but sometimes people after the Olympics just die off. You know what I mean? They balloon up, they don't take it seriously afterwards because they won the gold in the Olympics. Some people take fame and self-accomplishment in two different ways. You know what I mean there? So he then went on and he's fought 11 professional bouts, winning, I think he's won all 11 fights and knocked out pretty much almost all of them, if not all of them. He's beaten the likes of the Jermaine Stiverne. He's beaten the likes of a Brian Jennings as well. So two very credible opponents. Of course, Jermaine Stiverne being the former WBC world champion. Only two losses, to be fair, is to Deontay Wilder. You might have seen the video coming around where he gets clipped and he just falls on the floor flat. This is sort of after he does all this trash talking and does the whole malarkey, say I'm king, you're gonna get knocked out, and you just see like the next clip, just Deontay Wilder's flattening him like a tomato. You know the way there. Also, JOYCE has also beaten Brian Jennings. Brian Jennings being a very credible top 15 opponent. So yeah, like very tough opponent. You might have seen him on the Netflix show The Game Changers as well, where he's vegan as well, and he's a revert to the religion of Islam. So big up Brian Jennings as well, one of the most humblest fighters. I've heard a lot of good things about him. but Joe Joyce, decent resume for a fighter that's only had 10 fights. But he's had 10 fights at a very late stage in his career. He's now 35 years of age with 10 fights, which is quite sort of late. Moving swiftly on, we have Daniel Dubois. Some people call him Triple D. I'm not homo yet. Shout out to all the LGBT gang. I'm not part of them people there. But Daniel Dynamite Dubois, you're right. We'll stick to that. Daniel Dynamite Dubois. He's very, very credible opponent. He hasn't fought a lot of top 10 guys or top 15 or top 20 guys, as you call it, like Joe Joyce. But he's very young as well. 23 years of age, 15 professional fights. Of those 15 fights, he's pretty much knocked out like Joe Joyce, all of them bar one or two. He's good. He's got good wins against Richard Lartey, which we saw the other week, dancing, and he's also beaten the likes of Tom Little, Nathan Gorman. Two decent opponents, but not as good as the Brian Jennings or the Steverns of this world, alright, so to say. Very, very good opponent, tough chin. I've heard a great big deal about him in sparring with Tyson Fury, etc., where they pretty much said this guy's the toughest nails, where you can hit him and he basically can't feel a thing, and this guy keeps the same sort of tempo, the same stamina and energy from the first round to the last round. So he's a very athletic person, power horse type of fighter, as David Hay would say. So very, very good opponent. And these two, from my opinion, is becoming like, this is a 50-50 bout, a very good 50-50 bout between Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. Who do I think will win? I think this is also for not the WBO mandatory, but I think WBO second place ranking or third place ranking, where that fighter will then be eligible to fight in, if Joshua vacates, to fight Usyk in the final eliminator, final eliminator for that belt, so to say. So whoever wins this fight is in a great position in pretty much all of the rankings. So who do I think will win? I'm slightly moving towards a Daniel Dubois win. I know a lot of people the other day when I was speaking to them, they would say Joe Joyce had a bit more experience, he's been there, done that, and therefore he's going to win. He's had the mileage. And Daniel Dubois, although he's very good, he's not really been tested, so therefore Joe Joyce is going to win. I'm with Frank Warren on this one, alright? And Frank Warren said it's not really about who you beat, it's really a matter of how you beat them. You know the way there. Because if you beat, 20 bums, but in those 20 bums you show a variety of boxing skills necessary to compete at a very high level, then that also needs to be taken into account, alright? So he's beaten Tom Little and Nathan Gorman, which is and Richard Lartey, which is decent opponents, but he's beaten them in fashion. He's not just won them on points or just one punch knockouts and you're boxing rubbish. He's boxed really well in those fights and won convincingly, knockouts in those fights in particular. So for me, Daniel Dubois not wipes the floor, but Daniel Dubois beats Joe Joyce in around the 5th round. I would say the 5th round, Daniel Dubois is going to beat Joe Joyce. You heard it here first. But if Daniel Dubois wins, what does that mean for him? He's got a credible opponent in Joe Joyce on his resume. He has the ability to then fight top 10 guys, because Joe Joyce is not really top 10. Joe Joyce is top 15 himself. So even though he beat other top 15 fighters, he's still top 15. But if he loses Daniel Dubois, and for me it's Daniel Dubois' fight to lose. If Daniel Dubois loses this fight, he can still rebuild. Alright, he can still rebuild, fight another couple of tune-up fights and then fight a rematch. If, I would take a decent rematch. If he doesn't get whooped, basically, by Joe Joyce, fight a rematch against Joe Joyce and then continue onwards. Also, I watched the interview is jokes. They're learning a bit of trash talking, right? They're a bit still really sorted. They're still a bit like chips with no sauce on it, basically. They're a bit bland, so to say, in terms of trash talking. And maybe they should try the nice guy approach. Maybe just me. I don't think trash talking is for them. For Daniel, you should just employ somebody else to do the trash talking, maybe a trainer or something. Sam Joyce is helping, but there's only so much you can help. Sometimes I just want to hear from the fighters, so maybe take lessons from Sam Jones, you know, the way there. So that great fights happening this week, and please enjoy this, and then you DUBOIS. This has been your punch up preview. If you haven't done it already, please click the like on this video, click the subscribe button as well, and peace, love and prosperity, and we'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace.